Right. So kind of left that super chat up there by accident. Joker Folie à Deux. It's looking like it's probably going to bomb. It's not tracking very well. The pre-sales are not good. I guess, this is the follow-up to, of course, a bit of a sleeper hit. Joker was made for, if I remember rightly, $60 million and crossed $1 billion.
Yeah, very
which
low
was
budget.
Just absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah.
I think this movie now has a $200 million budget, if I remember rightly. It's much bigger.
That way more than doubled the budget.
Way more. And it's tracking less, $25 million less domestically than the original movie. It's got a lot of bad reviews, mixed reviews from the critics coming out about it now, but that's not really saying anything because they didn't like the first one. There was a really weird media campaign about the first one saying that, if that movie releases, people are going to go in theaters and murder people. They were genuinely, it was weird. It was almost like mainstream media were like they were frothing at the gash for it.
Yeah.
They were desperate for these murders to happen. It was very strange at the time. I remember reporting on, like, what on earth? It was just everywhere. They're like, there's gonna be shooters. They were like willing it into existence. It was that their very core. They desired it to happen. It was very strange. And then it came out and it had great rewatch value. It didn't have a massive opening weekend. It was fine. But it crossed $1 billion because it had rewatch value. People responded to it very, very well. This one's not looking very good because they sold it as a musical. They got Lady Gaga involved. Yeah. People hate Lady Gaga. Most people do. And
my appraiser guy is here. Let me go let him in real quick.
Go.
Property. I'll be right back.
Yeah, go. So yeah, Lady Gaga. People don't like Lady Gaga. They sold it as a musical. Now they're trying to double back on saying it was a musical. From the reviews, people are like, this just looks like it feels like a big FU to anyone that enjoyed the first one. And it does almost feel like that is the case because of like who they're hiring and what they're doing with the movie. Like, a lot of people liked the first one, and it's not necessarily that I don't think people responded to it in the way that they were like, yeah, I see myself as the Joker. Like, I don't think anyone was like that. It was more, this movie, they didn't sort of sympathize necessarily or empathize with the Joker, but they felt like it was it shone an interesting light on society and the downtrodden and how, one could lose themselves with a series of bad events per se. And it looks like it feels from everything that they've done now with the casting to being this bizarre musical aspect. Like Todd Phillips was like, yeah, you like that? You weren't supposed to like that. Fuck you.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at with it, basically. So 70 million opening. Well, $25 million less.
Do you remember there was one Batman movie where some dude did go into a theatre and do a mass spree killing event? Do you remember that? And he went to court with all his hair still orange or green. You remember that? So that was a real thing. That dude, for some reason, I looked in. For some reason, out of all the terrible events like that, I looked into that one loads. Read quite a lot about him, and there's even a few hours worth of. On YouTube, there's just a few hours worth of interviews with him in custody, like sort of long after, and he's obviously full of drugs, sedation. He's in like a mental institute. He's not in a normal prison and stuff. Anyway, I happened to look a lot into it, and the fact that the first film was sort of, even if not intentionally, it was sort of, well, based isn't the right word, but at least honest in some ways. Some sort of vent for sort of normal blokes, and so the sort of wokerati, the wokerati, they love the narrative and want it to be true that all men, particularly white men in the West in America, are crazed killers are like really violent, toxic things. All men are toxic and a moment away from killing people and stuff. That's the narrative they want. And of course, it's not true. You know, like they want all Trump supporters to essentially be KKK members or whatever crazy nonsense narrative they've got going on in their head. And it's just not true, right? It's just not real. It's not reality remotely. But this is a classic thing they do, isn't it? I think I mentioned it on Tuesday. I think I mentioned the film 300 and 300, the sequel to it, 302 or whatever it was called.
Rise of an Empire or something, I think.
Where the first one is like pretty cool and based, and it's about heroism and about being a man, about sacrifice in the face of overwhelming odds, and being heroic in all sorts of ways. So the second way, they couldn't have that slipped through the cracks. So the sequel's got to be got to pervert that, inverse that, and shove that down your throat. And I guess that's what it looks like. That's the play they're doing here. It looks like that's the playbook they're going with here. That the first one, like, men liked it and took some sort of inspiration from it. So we'll do another one, and we'll just absolutely pervert that message. And who better than Democrat shill Lady Gaga?
Yeah, massive.
Yeah, so I can't stand Lady Gaga. I don't even know what I don't know what she looks like. Right? Do you know what I mean? Like every time you see her in a different film or a different music video or something, it looks like a completely different person, like a different face to me. I don't know. So if she actually walked past me in the street without any makeup on, wearing normal clothes, I wouldn't be able to pick her out of a lineup. I wouldn't be able to pick her out of a crowd. I don't know what she looks like. Right? What is it? So yeah, she's I mean, and she couldn't have sold out harder for Biden, could she?
Massively. Has she come out and said anything recently? I don't know. If she has. She probably has.
Not that I saw, but she probably has. But not that I saw.
So Taylor Swift did. Like, obviously, she was going to do that. But yeah. I mean, you're completely right. I think the assessment there is right. To be honest, it just seems it's just odd. Like, it's just
Someone's
it's an odd one. I mean, this.
Sorry, real quick. Someone's saying in the chat, I've confused her with Taylor Swift. No, I'm pretty sure it was Lady Gaga sung Biden's inaugural. Did she not? I
don't know if Lady Gaga does. Lady Gaga have a son? I don't know if she does.
No, she sung.
Oh, sung. I think it's son. No. I don't know. And I know that she came out shilled really, really hard.
But there's loads of those types of celebrities. I'm sure Taylor Swift also, in fact, I know she did, also came out hard against Trump, at least, if not, explicitly pro-Biden or anything. But loads of them did. Everyone from Robert De Niro on down.
My God, what a loser! What an absolute loser.
Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, so just to go to this, they say,
sorry.
This is Deadline. They say, we hear the sequel is exactly what Phillips set out to make, a movie with musical elements. The question is whether the fans of the $1.1 billion grossing global movie want to see Arthur Fleck and Harley Quinn, played by Lady Gaga, singing their characters' personal favorite hits. I'm gonna say no.
Yeah, no,
probably not.
I'm not.
And the thing is, I was just gonna say, the thing is, like, the original movie Joker, music was a character in the film, right? Like, and it was a character, and it played very, very well in the film, but not to this degree. Like, they've got dream sequence set pieces where they're prancing around together on a stages and all this kind of stuff. It's just a step too far. I don't think people are going to want that. And also, with all due respect, Joaquin Phoenix can't sing. And I'm sure plenty of people think Lady Gaga can't sing either. So no, I don't want, I don't want to listen to Joaquin Phoenix singing.
Yeah. I find nearly all, I dislike nearly all musicals. Not every single one. There's one or two I don't mind. Like there's a place in my heart for Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, for example. But most musicals I don't like. I'm not. I don't. Yeah, it's not my thing at all.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, and this movie is tracking, as it says here, $26 million less than the original film. So the original film didn't open massive. It opened to $96.2 million, right? It was fine, but it had legs because people really liked it, right? Like it obviously spoke to them clearly because they kept going back to watch it. I think Joker, I'd have to go back and look at some videos at the time, but I think Joker was one of the only films I watched twice in theaters that year when it was out, because I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a beautiful film from like multiple levels. Like the cinematography in it's amazing, the color grading in it's amazing. It was great. Like it was genuinely a really, really decent film from quite a lot of angles. So, but that, it earned $1.1 billion because it was a good movie, and it obviously had rewatch value to a lot of people. So this movie could do well if it's not a big FU to the people that obviously went to watch the first one, which it does kind of sound like it is. But can we trust mainstream media given that they had this weird hate boner for the first one?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I mean, God, I whenever I'm watching a film and I'm coming into it cold, usually on TV, and at some point someone starts breaking out into song, I sort of immediately like, oh, it's a musical. Like that's how South Park the movie, that was all right, which is basically a musical. There's very few. There are a couple of others. There are a couple of other musicals I don't mind, but like 95% of the time, if it's a musical, just no thanks, no, pass, next thing. Yeah, and I don't see it's not in keeping. Does it? I don't think it can possibly be in keeping with the tone and tenor and message of the first one to make it a musical, unless somehow it's done really, really well and it's really, really dark. And but I just don't see that as a real possibility. So,
well, they even say here, this is Deadline writing this: no studio in their right mind this day and age markets a feature musical like a feature musical. I'm told when you have a movie musical, you've got to trick moviegoers into going to see them. Why don't you just not make them then?
Right. Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
Don't try and trick the audience about anything. Don't try and bamboozle people. Nobody likes that. Nobody wants that.
Just make a movie people are gonna like.
Yeah. Come
on.
What
a weird admission. What a weird ass admission. Well, there you go. Look, we'll obviously follow this. When it gets released and stuff like that. I mean, I will go and watch this. I have to for the show and the channel. But yeah, any closing thoughts on this before we move on?
No, it just looks pants. I've got absolutely no intention of going to see this. Zero intention of going to see it. Unless by word of mouth it comes out that it's really, really good. If that's the case, then maybe. But I don't see that happening. One other thing, just sort of while we're almost rounding this one out, or essentially in between segments, someone in the chat asks where Culture is. So maybe for people that have joined a bit late, just to mention that. He's still with us. He just can't be here this evening. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. He set everything up, ready to go, helped out with all the stingers and stuff like that. He's just not able to be here. But he does, he does actually miss doing the show. He really, really enjoys it. So he will be back as of Tuesday. So there you go, guys. Well spotted. I think I did see that, but yeah, no, well addressed.